today. So today we are going with my Amazon SDA internship experience. So I'll just start from starting. How did I get this opportunity, and what are the insights, and I'll share everything. Up to my knowledge. I think it will be helpful. So yeah, first thing, most of the people are asking me whether it was an on-campus or off-campus opportunity. See, it is an off-campus opportunity. So through which program I got this opportunity? That is Amazon HackOn. So for someone who doesn't know what is Amazon HackOn, you can browse this, and you can find this program. So yeah, through this we participated in this Amazon HackOn. It is a team based contest, where you'll be giving two coding problems. Okay, you'll be given two coding problems, and you need to solve those questions. And yeah, our team consists of total 4 members. Out of four, three of were received online assessment links for this SDA internship. Who is watching from GDP? I just want to tell this. For participating in this Amazon HackOn, our college was not listed in the colleges. To participate for this Amazon HackOn. Even there is not like an other college option also. So we have registered as Andhra University students, and then we have participated in this program. So yeah, so what I just want to say is just try to give each and every opportunity, in whatever the possible way that you can. It doesn't matter like how you're giving. I just want to say, just try in some or other way. uh, at last, it'll be worth it. So after this two coding problems, yeah, we were scheduled with an online assessment interview. So yeah, coming to that online assessment interview, again there will be two coding problems. Again there will be two coding problems for this OA. Okay, and for this two coding problems, one question was on sorting plus 2 pointer based question for me. you know Sorting plus 2 pointer kind of question. It is not that hard. You can say it as easy to medium level question. Yeah, one is a sorting plus 2 pointer, and other one is is a very complex question based on permutations and combinations. You can classify it under combinatorics. I didn't remember that question exactly, but yeah, so for that question, even I didn't. Yeah, first question I have solved it completely, but for the second question, out of 15 test cases, I have solved around 11 test cases, and rest of the four are giving me TLE. So yeah, that is the online assessment. Coming to the online assessment, those were the questions, and now we'll be moving to the interview part, right? Yeah, coming to the interview, you know the interview goes like this. There'll be two interviewers will be coming to interview you. Yeah, two interviewers will be coming, and you have to solve two coding problems for sure. Two coding, yeah, those are TSA problems. And like most of the people asking me whether preparing these TSA questions are enough, or should I look into project questions and core questions, or like that. See, 95%, you'll be asking only DSA problems, and rest of the 5%, it is always based on the interviewer. We don't know, if your interviewer goes through your resume, and if he finds your projects very interesting, then there's a chance that he also can ask you during your interview. And if you solve the two questions completely in around, if the interview was around 1 hour, and if you have solved it around 30 minutes or 40 minutes, then there's a chance the interviewer might discuss about your project. So, and even it was not compulsory. Yeah, but most of the times, I'm saying 90 to 95% of the times, it'll be mostly around your DSA problems, just solving the two coding DSA problems, right? So coming to the DSA problems, the questions they asked for me is, yeah, first thing, like, how should I start? Yeah, the interview was like this. They have given their intros. Two of the members just gave their intros, and they have asked my intro. And I think our intros went around until 6 minutes, 2 minutes each one. And then he told me, for this Amazon, we'll be mainly focusing on the problem solving, and we'll just test your understanding on the data structures and the time complexities that you're writing in your code. So yeah, and then he asked me one graphs question. Graphs means it is similar kind of problem, like this number of islands. Yeah, if you have done this number of islands problem, it was a similar question like that. Basically, I don't know whether I can say this, yeah, but it's fine. See here, you'll be giving a matrix, you know, and there will be zeros and crosses all over the matrix. Yeah, like this. If we can, yeah, go like this. Yeah, and here zero represents water and cross represents land. And yeah, there is one additional condition is whether if you need to count the number of islands here, but the extra condition is, it should not be touching the borders, whether it is the first row or the last row, whether it is the first column or last column. Your island should not be, on that borders. It should completely cover all the four directions, right? So then only, you can count it as one of the islands. See here, if I say this island, since this cell is present in the first row, we cannot count it as one valid island. Whether you can see this island, it is covered all directions, right? It is covered by the water in all the four directions. So you can say that as a valid island. So you need to count such number of islands, and you need to return the total count. So yeah, that is the question. And first of all, in the interview, you need to tell your approach. If the interviewer was completely satisfied, and if he thinks, it was the best optimal solution, then only, he'll be making you to code it in the text editor. So yeah, for Amazon, they'll be providing their respective code editor. In that code editor, you need to code. And yeah, coming to the coding part also, there won't be any test cases, or they won't be running your code through any test cases. You just need to write some main functions, right? You need to write some main functions, and if the interviewer thinks that it will definitely pass to each and every test case, even if I take this code and even if I run this, it can pass all the test cases. If the interviewer is having this much confidence on your code, then only, he'll be making you to move on to the next coding question. Otherwise, he won't make it. So see here, for this question, initially, I have explained, through DFS, I'll be calling wherever there is a cross. So I'll be calling a recursive function, to all those four directions, and I'll be maintaining a visited matrix so that I can keep track of each and every cell, whatever the cell I was visiting. So I'll be computing, all the number of islands like that, and if it is present in the border, so I'll be returning the false. So then he asked me, just he gave me some test case, by copying it, and he made me dry run on the test case. So explain me exactly, how you are gonna implement this solution. Just make me or visualize me, through your dry run. So he had given me one test case over there, so I have dry run, like, my approach. Then he asked me, what is the time complexity of your codes? So I said, time complexity is big of m cross n, and the space complexity is big of m cross n. Then he asked me, could you optimize your space complexity? So then I have thought for 1 minute, and yeah, I have come up with a solution, like, so whenever you're visiting a cell, then only you can make it zero. So here, if it when I'm finding a cross, I'll be making it as zero. Then I'll be again looking four directions. I'll be looking in the four directions. If I find a cross, then I'll again make it as zero. Then I'll again try to search in my four directions. So with this approach, our space complexity will be reducing to big of one, right? So yeah, the time complexity will be big of m cross n, and the space complexity will be big of one. So then, it is the most optimal approach. Then he was satisfied, and then he made me, to code the solution. Then, like, for coding the solution, like, I've just took around, in less than 5 minutes. I just coded, like, without even thinking that much. So, and after writing the code, and he again given me some another test case, and he again made me try run to the whole test case, like. And in the interview itself, even I took this whiteboard, and I literally I have try run like this. I have drawn the whole matrix. I'm just making sure, like, when you're visiting this cross, you'll make it zero. Then your recursive call will be called. I'm just writing this whole thing, and I'm explaining. And by the end of my first question, I think it is, the interview passed around 30 plus minutes. It crossed around 33 to 36 minutes. And then there is a second question, which is a DP question. Yeah, after this first question, he asked me one DP question. The DP question will goes like this. He'll be giving you two strings. Let us say it has ABC, and uh, the second string will be given as BSC, yeah, and he'll be giving you one another string that is S3, and let us say if it is ADBACC. Now, what the condition is, you have to either pick this first character or or the first character from the second string. You can only pick the first characters from the two strings, and you need to build this third string, right? You need to build this third string. So you have to return, whether that third string can be built or not. If it can be built by taking the first characters, alternatively or in any order, then you should return true or you should return false. So here it goes like this. See here, initially I'll be taking this A, so, and then we can take this D, then we can take this B, then we can take this A, then you can take this C or this C, so I'm taking just, the starting characters of each string, and then I'm building this third string. You cannot, so the condition, lies like this. Without taking this character, you cannot pick this character, right? So without picking these first characters, you cannot pick this second character, and you can't build like that. So if you pick this first A character, then only you're accessible to B. So that is a question. So, you know what I have answered is, I'll come up with a two-pointer approach. See, uh, how I approach this: I'll keep a pointer I on S1, and I'll keep a pointer J on S2, you know and I'll try to, yeah, there is one more pointer on S3, which is K. So I'll try to check whether my S1 of I is equal to S3 of K. If it is equal, then, I'll be incrementing my I pointer and my K pointer. And if my S2 of J is equal to my S3 of K, then, I'll be incrementing my J and K. So I have came up with this, with this pointer approach. But, you know he told me, are you thinking that it will work for every solution? So I've said yes, but yeah, it can work. It will work. So he told me, I can give you a test case for which your solution doesn't work. So I'm thinking like, why it doesn't work. So I'm expecting from the interviewer, actually he could, give me any counter case to my approach, and I'll be gradually understanding and decoding that. I'm expecting like that. But, he indeed, he did give me a test case, which is something like a there is a that test case was very complex. I can't even run this whole thing. So I should be running this whole pointers, and I should check, right? So he had given me some large test case. I couldn't able to figure that out. you know I couldn't dry run on the test case, and I'm not even understanding why it doesn't work. So I'm just saying, like, is he expecting any approach from recursion? So I've said, I'll go with recursion, but still the approach will be same. Here we are using for loop, then there will be using recursion with the same conditions, right? So I'm just thinking. So he told me, like, can you think in the direction of a dynamic programming? So I just but I still couldn't understand why this approach is not working. So then, you know roughly around, I have stuck there for 5 minutes, for finding the issue with this problem. Then, I found why it doesn't actually work. See here, if the three strings are like, let us say if it is ABCD, and if this is containing B and DE. Okay, yeah, we could take it as BBE. Yeah. Now, if the string is A, B, and C, and B, yeah, BBE, right? Okay. Okay. So yeah, initially our I pointer will be here, and our J pointer will be here, and our K pointer will be here, right? Correct. So now, what we'll be trying to do? We'll be trying to see here. We'll be trying to match this character with either this one or this one, right? So since here S of K is matching with S of I, so we'll be moving this both pointers, right? So now our I will be moved to here, and our K will be moved to here, right? Now we'll again try to match this character, which is B, right? So now for this B, you know, this S1 character is matching, and this S2 character is also matching at the same time, right? And you didn't know what character you need to match in order to get your answer, right? So in this case, if you match this character from string S1, then only you'll be getting the answer, right? So then you'll be matching this whole ABC here, and then you'll be getting this BB. or otherwise if you try to match this character, then your answer won't be possible, right? So you can dry run on this case, and you can figure it out, exactly why it doesn't work, right? So then I struck with this case, and I got the idea why it doesn't work. Then I quickly understood why he said it, the dynamic programming question. And then I just said, yeah, so whenever both the characters are matching with my string s3, then I'll be calling two recursive calls for moving. So whenever these two characters are matching, I'll call two recursive calls, one with I plus 1 and k plus 1. And for another, if for another, I'll call another function with j plus 1 and k plus 1. And whatever the function, you'll be getting the result as true. So even if you get one of the result as true, you'll be finally returning as true, right? So yeah, this is a question, so I have explained him. So then he got that, he is expecting that approach. So he asked me like, how do you code that, how do you write that recursion function? So can you just give me a structure of that code? So I said, so I'll be taking some solve function, which will solve this and give me a boolean result with the states of I, j, and k. I've said like this. These are the three parameters that will be changing in our recursive function. So I'll be writing a recursive function for this, and I'll memorize these three states. Then he made this. He told that your length of s3 ka string is always equal to your length of s1 string and your length of s2 string. So then what you'll be doing, he asked me like that. So there is a catch over there. So the reason why he said like this is, in order to eliminate this extra state k, right? So even if he didn't mention that point, still you should be able to catch that point. So why he said like that is, here you won't be needing this case set. Why? Because yeah, here s1 is equal to abc, right, with the index 0 1 2, and s2 is bcd, let us say bcd. So this is 0 1 2. And if the s3 is abc bcd, now can I say my I pointer will be standing over here and my j pointer is standing over here? Do I really require my k pointer? Do I really require my k pointer? See, k, if you can take this indexes as 0 1 2 3 4 5. See here, k is initially k will be 0, and even if one character match, then your I will be incremented or your b will be incremented, and simultaneously your k has to be incremented. So can I say k is nothing but your I plus j, right? Your k is nothing but your I plus j, right? So here you can see here, initially your I and j is 0, right? So 0 plus 0, what is that? That is 0, right? That is 0. So this is your kth index, and you'll check with this index. So since here this first character and this first character are matching, so what you'll try to do, you'll try to increment your I pointer to the 1th index, right? So then what your I and j will be, your I will be 1 and your j will be 0, right? So it can give you k is equal to 1 index. So you're understanding, right? So this is the exact point. So then after observing that point, I've reduced this question to two states. Yeah, I have reduced the solve function to two states, which is I and j. Then then he understood, and he also made me to write exactly on what conditions you'll be calling the recursive functions. I've taken the whiteboard and I've explained literally mostly like this to the interviewer. So then I have written the structure of the conditions for which I'll call the recursive functions. Then he was satisfied, and then he made me to code the solution. Again, it is the code, it just takes less than 5 minutes. And after that, again, he gave me one another test case, and he told me to dry run on the dp, like how exactly are you memorizing it. He has given me one test case in which this counter case won't be happening, like see, it will be. So yeah, I can tell you a similar question. Yeah, we can take that case, which is abc, and s2 is equal to, you can take it as, yeah, def, you can take like that. So 0 1 2 is your indexes, right? So your I will be standing here, your j will be standing over here. So let us say my s3 as a b d e c f, right? So this is my s3. So if your string is like this, so see, how you need to dry run. So I'm telling you that. So initially you'll be at 0 comma 0, right? This is your I and this is your J, and you won't be needing your K. Y is, K is I plus J, right? So here initially these two characters are matching. So what you'll try to do, you'll try to make a call for 1 comma 0, right? Because the first character got matched with the string s3, right? Then you know your I will be standing over here, your J will be standing over here. Then again your I will be matched. You'll be moving to a state which is 2 comma 0, right? Right. Then your jth character will be matching. So that will give you 2 comma 1, and again you'll be going to, so here I'll be writing like this. Then you'll be going to 2 comma 2 state, because the 1th character and this s3 character will be matched, right? These two characters, after these two characters are matching, you'll be moving to this 3 comma 2 state, and then you'll be going to 3 comma 3 state, right? So I've drawn this whole thing. So he has given me one test case, similar to like this, and I draw the whole recursive tree. And then he asked me, you're memoizing the solution, right? In your recursive function you're memoizing, but how does it help you? So here you have called all the recursive functions, you have saw all the states, and where is your dynamic programming actually executing, and how is it actually helping you? So he is asking me like that. If you carefully observe, for this one, for this test case, you don't even requiring the DP, right? Because all are like a linear recursive call, so you don't be needing DP for this test case. So I have then I have took one, some random case. So then what I have tried to explain him is, so let us say we are at a 1 comma 1 state, we are at 1 comma 1 state for this s1 and s2 string. Then let us say if both characters are matched at this position, then what will be our recursive calls? Then it will be 1 comma 2 and or 2 comma 1, right? So either will increment our I, either will increment our J, right? So we'll be solving for these two functions. And for that two functions, if you're again going to a state which is a 2 comma 2, and from this state also here you're achieving a 2 comma 2 state, then you'll be solving the DP over here, you'll be storing the result, right? You'll be computing the result over here. Then you'll again face the same subproblem, right? So here you're again facing the same subproblem. So in order to eliminate, yeah, this is the same subproblem. So in order to eliminate the computation of the same subproblems, we are using the DP. So if I use the DP, so whenever I'm reaching this 2 comma 2 state, I'll be computing the whole result, and I'll be storing in the respective I comma jth position. Then I won't be without solving the same subproblem again, I'll gain the result. So that is the explanation that I gave to him. Then he understood it completely. Then yeah, he got that, I know the DP very well. I'm having a very good basics with my dry run and with my data structure. So then he he stopped, and the other interviewer stepped in. And then the other interviewer, what she asked me is something like, yeah, I'll be saying what the other interviewer was actually up to. See, I have written the code. I have written the code with some base cases, like, see here, if our I is equal to s1 dot size, and our I is equal, yeah, our J is equal to some s2 dot size, we'll be returning the true, right? We'll be returning the true. So this is the base case. So this is the base case, and here I have written some of the test case. Here I have written, yeah, this recursive calls. I have written the code for the recursive calls. Now she asked me, see, Uday, you have written your code, right? So I want to build a test case which should not execute these three recursive functions, and it should return me a false. So you're understanding, right? So based on the like, I'm just you can't get it exactly, but I'm just trying to give you an overview. So you need to build a test case for the code you have written, so that for some of the cases only it should execute. Without executing this base case, and without executing that recursive calls, build me a test case, and show me with the result I wanted. So she asked me like that. So then yeah, I have so since you have written the whole code, and if you have the clear visualization and what exactly are you doing, so you'll be getting it in less than 2 minutes. So yeah, then I have built that test case, and I have given them, and I explained it, to her. Then she was satisfied, and yeah, I think that's all with my interview experience. So yeah, for someone, what I would suggest is, yeah, after all this interview, like, what I have observed is, you know uh, in this whole interview experience, what they are majorly focusing on is, see, first thing, your code quality, right? So whatever the code that you are writing, it should be, in a quality, it should follow some quality practices. See, yeah, quality means, the structure needs to be good. You have to use good variable names, and you don't need to use for loops and while loops unnecessarily. If you can, you know save some time, or if you can even save one for loop, or if you can save some space, it will be more effective. If you're using an extra space, even still the time complexity is big often. If you're using a for loop unnecessarily, they won't be uh, looking for that, right? They want you to, if there is a scope that it could be done in a single for loop, even though the time complexity, the worst case time complexity won't vary, they won't be leaving you until you optimize to their solution. Next one, how I think, the speed is important while you're writing the code. See, if you're you know if you have told your solution, if you have explained your solution, and if you're taking time, for the approach that you have told, then the time won't be sufficient in the interview. you know yeah, see, we do actually take time for the ideas that we have generated and to build that code, but you need to be, practice very well, such that at least this medium kind of question should be done in like 5 minutes, right? So you can't take more than 5 minutes. And if you're trying to, if you're taking some time to code greater than 5 minutes, I would say it'll be very difficult. The time won't be sufficient for the second DSA question. And yeah, the third thing, what I would say is, yeah, it will. What I'll say is, yeah, they'll see how well you're understanding the question. Okay, how well you're understanding the question, and how well you're understanding your code that you have written. So yeah, I've said you right. She asked me to build a test case. So she is testing my understanding, how well I have understood the question that she gave, and how well, I know my code, right? So you need to know in and out of your approach, like whatever you're saying and whatever you're writing, you should be completely accountable for that. Uh, no matter how she asks or how he asks, you have to answer like a pro. You know, and after that, they'll be checking uh, your they'll be checking your understanding of your time and space complexities, and this is also a major thing they'll be looking. And I would also suggest, whatever the approach that you're giving, if it is containing any data structures like a priority queue or a hash map, they'll be also asking the implementations of the data structures, right? So if you are going through the interview, so just also try to see the implementation of the data structures, implementation of the data structures. So what I mean is, if you take the ordered maps, it is implemented with red black trees. And yeah, if you take the priority queue, or it is implemented with heaps. So how, you have to have the understanding on how exactly it is implemented. And yeah, I think these are all the things that you need to keep in the mind. I think, yeah, if you're yeah, and yeah, I have forgot one of the most important factor. Yeah, I'll be telling. See here, you need to focus on these five aspects, right? First one is your code quality, and you have to code it very fast. Otherwise the time won't be sufficient for the conversation. And second thing, yeah, your understanding of your question, your understanding of your code, and the time and space complexities. And yeah, if there is any data structure is involved in your solution, then you have to know the implementation of the data structure. So there is a major probability that they can ask questions on them. And the last but not least, this is the important factor, how well you're explaining. So I have seen the people, who have coded these two questions completely, but still, due to some pressure or due to some or other factor, they are not able to explain the question perfectly. So then, it becomes a major factor. So sometimes, even it is fine, even if you haven't solved the question completely, but if you're expressing your thoughts very clearly, and if you're open to the conversations, then it can help you in most of the directions, right? So I would say that is one of the important factor. So explain very clearly, so be very clear about your approach, and dry run exactly the whole procedure. So from starting to end, like if you're practicing right now, just dive deep into the solutions. You need to take rough paper, and you have to dry run those solutions and explain to yourself. Then only you can explain in these interviews like this. So yeah, after this, yeah, so these are all the factors. And one another thing what I would suggest is, most of the people asking, like, you know whether is it enough to practice this top 150 or 75 blind questions or like that. See, there is one of my teammate interview, and in his interview there is a question, like, which which won't be even there in the lead code. Like, the question was framed like this: there is an Amazon delivery system. So you'll be there he'll be, yeah, I can explain you through this board. Yeah, so the question goes like this: he'll be giving you some endpoints, right? He'll be giving you some endpoints, and there is an Amazon delivery system. So for each point, there is some of the pickup deliveries and some of the drop deliveries. So let us say 5, 10, 12, 3, 6, 8, 4, 2, 3, 9. Yeah. So these are the endpoints. Here's n is equal to 6. I have assumed n is equal to 6. So for each point there will be some of the pickup deliveries and some of the drop deliveries. So you need to start at a point, such that you'll pick up the deliveries over there and you'll drop the deliveries over there. So it should not go less than 0. So if I want to say, so initially you'll be picking 8 deliveries right over here, and you'll drop 4 deliveries over here. Then you'll be having rest of the deliveries as 4, right? So you'll be going to the next point, and you'll be collecting those points as well, so which is total 6, and you'll drop these deliveries 3 over here. So now your total deliveries will become 3. So you need to go like that. And in this process, it should not your delivery should not be less than 0. Your deliveries should not become less than 0. So you need to pick a point, such that you need to pick up one point such that if you even travel consecutively, the deliveries should not become less than 0, and everything will be satisfied. So this is one of the question which my friend was asked. So it is, if you can try, it is like a prefix sum. You can use the prefix sum or and sliding window variation kind of problem. So yeah, these are also some kind of problems, asked in the interviews. And you could not expect the top 75 or the top 150 questions. So yeah, if anyone wants to prepare for the Amazon, what I would suggest is, don't depend on those kind of questions, which is, yeah, Striver's STG sheet was somewhat fine, but still, you need to practice the lead code contest. If you can solve the questions until medium level, with very fast and accurate, then I think it will be sufficient, right? Because most of the Amazon interviews, uh, most questions were asked with just medium level questions were only asked. They won't be going for the hard level questions. And yeah, I think if you can practice the lead code contest, every week, that'll make you, if even such kind of questions were asked, then only you can tackle these new questions, and you can solve it very fluently. Otherwise, it'll be very difficult. So yeah, so this is what my exact interview has gone through. Like, these are all my learnings. These are all the things that I have learned through this all journey. And what I would suggest to my juniors is to participate in these programs, because from only these programs like this only, we'll be receiving the interview opportunities. At least, a lot of times we are very struggling to get this interview opportunity. So it would be very beneficial, if you target these kind of programs, and if you can show your talent, then it will be really helpful. So yeah, that's it for the day, and that's how it should be done.